going to be very honest with you. I have yet to lie. Determination outweighs motivation. I cannot ask you to do something that I am not willing to do myself. Hi, yes, hello, and welcome back to the second episode in the whatever the hell we're calling this YouTube series. And today, I'm going to be very honest with you. I have yet to lie to you on this channel, on the main channel. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to fucking be doing this. Okay, so let me give you backstory. I woke up, I knew I needed to film this for this channel. And I sat down to like brainstorm, and my brain had no thoughts. Just straight crickets. Come on, brain, think of things. Come on, brain, think of things. So I'm like in my car, I go to therapy, and then my therapist doesn't show up for the appointment. And I'm like, well, this does not help my abandonment issues, Caitlin. And so I'm just like, but then you wanna know what hit me? The phrase determination outweighs motivation. You are not always going to feel motivated. You are not always going to feel creative. You are gonna have to put on your big girl pants, big boy pants, your big person pants, and you're just gonna have to do it. Creativity is not something you can force. You can definitely tell when somebody's forcing something, which I'm sure it's coming off on camera. I'm not as bright, I'm not as peppy, but I wanted to be honest. That like, no matter how fun and bubbly and funny or creative, like Van Gogh had his times, he went through such a hard time he cut an ear off. It's almost like writer's block, but like creative block. And so I was like, Ashley, why don't you use this as a chance of total transparency with you? I can use this as a chance to talk about what I do to make myself more creative, or like if I know I have a big filming day and I just can't shake it, like I'm gonna tell you what I do that helps me. Like there's a difference between having a lack of creativity and going through like a depressive episode. I'm not in a depressive episode. And you wanna know something is when I was getting ready to film, let me show you this. This is what I like to do. I have a playlist that I listen to called Power Walk Through the Bullshit. It's like really upbeat. It's a good power walk pace for me. And it like gets me in the moment. It gets me going. And so I was like, okay, I'll put this on. And I'll be honest, I put on the music and I stood in the middle of this room and I was like, this is awful. This is awful. But this is what I do. When I need to get hype or I need to cheer myself up, this is gonna be ridiculous, but I guarantee you try it. Try it. I'll link my playlist, my Spotify stuff down below. It's not sponsored, I love music. Anyways, if you wanna check out my playlist. But I mean, this can work with your music too, whatever you're into. And this is how I start. It's like, I go off the law of inertia. You know, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Humans, creativity, it's the same way for me, at least. And so I put on the music and I stood there and I was just like not feeling it. Like deep in my bones, I was like, ugh. So you know what I do when I'm like that? If I just need like a creativity break, if I need to like get it all out, is I will start dancing. I will start finger dancing. Don't make that dirty. Like literally to the beat of the song. And you mean to tell me you can finger dance and keep a straight face? Okay, then if that didn't cheer you up, do it opposite, like both fingers but opposite directions. You mean to tell me that didn't make you smile a little bit? Like once you get your fingers going, oh, maybe you hit them with that shoulder. Maybe you hit them with that shoulder. All of a sudden, you know what? You're moving around. You're moving around. You're moving. You're moving. You're moving around. I'm being so serious. This is what I do. You know what else I love doing? My playlist is literally called Power Walk Through the Bullshit, because sometimes I gotta like put on the music and I just gotta go. I gotta walk aimlessly, listen to some tunes. I really underestimate the power that sunshine will have on a person, or me in particular. I love a good rainy day. But like when I'm like in a funk and I'm gross and I'm like, not creative, not feeling it, not feeling the vibes, I will go for a walk. And I'll tell you what, that sunshine just be hitting my skin and it's like, yes, Lord, yes. I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw where some people will go outside and they were like, get sunshine on their butthole. I haven't done it, but like that one thing I saw about sunshine in your asshole. But anyways, that one article I read about it was like, because that spot never gets sunshine, I don't know, it does something to your brain. Honestly, I think if you're brave enough to put your ass in the air in the outdoors and like sunshine your asshole, you are light years ahead of me, my dude. You are light years ahead. Okay, number one. I will not be sunshining my asshole. Things I never thought, number one, I would say. Number two, I would say on the internet. Okay. Also, if you're hitting a creative block, sometimes I have realized that if I'm trying to force myself to be creative, it is shit. Well, there's multiple things you should not force, but forcing creativity is a lot like forcing a fart. It might be shit. Oh, like something I don't talk about a lot on here is that I really like to paint. I am not good at it. I don't share my paintings online with strangers. I might send a picture of it to my mom, but it's almost something that I do for me. Does that make sense? And sometimes if you're forcing a creativity or a creative moment or a creative spark to come your way, if you're forcing it for other reasons other than just for you, then it might not work out. So maybe step away from the project that you're working on and go do something for you. Go sunshine your asshole. Go for a power walk. Hell, you know what? Sometimes I just gotta take a nap. Sometimes, you know, when you restart a computer and you're like, you know, turn it off and let the computer rest and then restart it and it's fine. That's sometimes you just need a nap. Sometimes you just need to sleep it off. It's okay. The work is still going to be there after the nap. Recharge. Rest your little brain. He's been working hard for you, taking care of all your organs and stuff, making your body function. So like, take a little nap, turn it off, turn it back on again. Boom, there you go. It might work. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I wake up and I'm grumpier than I was before. That's just the risk you take with naps, man. I take a nap almost every day. I'll be honest, right now it is 4:13 p.m. I took a nap at 10 a.m. this morning. 10 a.m. Also, okay, so if you're a friend from the main channel, then you know I talk about how much I don't read. I don't know why I don't like to read. I kid you not when I tell you I have read a total of 4 books in the last decade. 5, now that I finished Gene Wilder's autobiography. And it took me 4 months to finish that book. This book right here is If You Are in a Creative Rut, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I swear by it. I tell my friends to read it. I tell like my creative friends to read it. Literally anybody who wants to do anything creative, because I think she gives a really great idea of what creativity is. And she refers to creativity and ideas as visitors. And like in order, like almost like creativity and our ideas are invisible little fairies. We'll call them fairies. And they come and they knock on your noggin, right? And you can be the person that's like, nah, fuck you, fairy. Like, get on out of here. Go on, get. The idea will knock a couple more times. But then if you keep rejecting it, it'll go find somebody else to be birthed through. Now, it won't look exactly like how it would have looked if it were birthed through you. That goes back to my previous video on like, me and you can make the we can make the same exact video and it'll be completely different. We can watch the same exact movie as a movie reactor and you're gonna have totally different takeaways than I do. So ideas are the same way. I think this is really great. You can really find a lot of good stuff in here. I mean, it took me a very long time to read this book. I am not a fast reader. I know. Listen, do you want an idea? She's also the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. I didn't read that, but I really like. Also, she has like a fun little tie to Knoxville. She used to teach at UT Knoxville, so that's like fun. Sometimes now I won't even reread the whole book. I'll just like find a chapter. If you are the creative type, I mean, and if you're like me and don't like to read, maybe find the audiobook. I don't know. Again, this is not sponsored. This is, I read this book probably, I read excerpts from it multiple times a year. Whenever I'm in a big creative rut and I'm down and my brain is not working, I can read a couple chapters of this and it's like, boom, ideas. Plus the cover's fun. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna be an object in motion, like I am currently, and there's gonna be a lot, just like I said in the last video, there's gonna be a lot of reasons to not continue. I didn't want to do my makeup, so it's very simple today, but I did it. How many times have I stuttered in this video? I just honestly, if I listen to this little voice in my head, I want to be like, fuck it, I'll get up early tomorrow, I'll put on makeup, that way I can film this, film a couple movies, you know, blah, 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 I'll deal with it tomorrow. I cannot ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself, and I gotta push through the bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna feel so much better once I get through this because I made myself, because sometimes it's not that you're not having a creative day, sometimes it's because you're lazy. Like me today. It's important to decipher when you're just being a lazy piece of shit, and that was me today. That's why it's 4:15 and I'm just now starting to film something, because I have found every excuse in the book to not film anything. And that's not it. And here's the thing, if you're doing something creative for other people, like technically this video is to go up on the second channel. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, my subscribers, they'll understand, you know, they'll understand. I have, you know, I'm a one-woman show, they get it, they're super nice, they'll understand. But I made a promise to myself that I was going to upload bi-weekly on the second channel and maintain the main channel as is. Okay, well, I could get up early and film this tomorrow and hope I'm more creative tomorrow, and no, I made a promise to myself. And you know who I have to live with every day? Me. I gotta live with this bitch. If you think my personality is annoying in videos, could you imagine living with me or as me? Keep me in your prayers, y'all. Aw, look at this. See, I just pulled up, I was scrolling through Facebook because I can't focus. And it's a Mr. Rogers meme. In a way, you've already won in this world because you're the only one who can be you. So going off of creativity, I got a lot of questions, comments on my last video, DMs, comments on Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz about how to pick something, you know, if you wanted to pursue podcasting, YouTube, or any creative outlet, like how do you know what you want to do? I was telling a friend this recently, that like the stuff you've always been naturally drawn to. Because remember, creativity is not about perfection, it's about progress, which is hard for a lot of people to deal with. Like I took a cake decorating class, never having baked a cake from scratch ever in my entire life, and it was the most ugly cake. There is not a picture of it in existence. I will remember forever. I will remember two things about this cake decorating class. Is number one, on the very first class, the instructions said, bring a positive attitude in a spatula. And you would think that's pretty simple. No, I brought like a hamburger flipping spatula, not like a baking spatula. Okay, number one. Number two, my very final class, we had to make our own cake and like decorate it, and it could be whatever, you know? There were no criteria other than just do it yourself. I will never forget, my cake was frozen. One of my cakes fell apart. Like I was gonna do like a multi-layer cake and one of my cakes fell apart. And then my icing, I had put it in the refrigerator but forgot to get it out, so it wasn't, whenever I would spread the frosting, it would rip the cake apart. I will never forget, I sat in our kitchen in the apartment and just boo-hooed. I just bawled. I was not gonna go to the last class. And Blake was like, Ashley, you're having a crisis? You need to get it together, baby girl. I ended up getting some store-bought frosting and like piecing the cake back together. Hands down, ugliest cake in the entire class that night. It was awful, awful. But you know what? I did it. And that's the thing. Your first attempt at anything is going to be awful. Whether it's a cake decorating class, a YouTube video, a podcast, running a marathon, it's going to be shitty. But you're never going to get to your 100th if you don't have your first shitty time. You got to be willing to be bad at something in order to become good. Once again, creativity is not a competition. It is not about perfection. It is about progress. It's about expressing yourself. Never in a million years. I did not realize before I started my channel that people actually wanted to see other people watching movies that they had already seen. I had no idea. Such a fun concept. And now I love being able to tell other people about movies that I've seen and tell them to see it and then talk to them. I love it. So don't sit there and think, here's a perfect example. There's a woman who just retired from an orthodontist office who said that she's gonna they were asking me about what I do for work, and I told them the YouTube channel, and this older lady was like, you know what, my daughter said I needed to do one with me and my sister. We're about to go sightseeing the Grand Canyon. And I said, oh my God, do it. And she said, well, I'm not funny and I'm old. Who wants to look at me? Stop saying that. Stop. Anyways, I told this lady, I said, oh my God. I said, if you're traveling with your sister, you're both retired this year, and I love alliteration. So I was like, oh my God, you could start a channel and it could be called Senior Sisters Sightseeing. And it's just a travel channel with two old ladies. I would watch the hell out of that. But then again, I love the Golden Girls. So my creative process is very chaotic. I don't script out anything, ever. This is not scripted. Nothing is. My intros on the main channel are not scripted. I cannot stick to a script that I write to save my life. But look, this whole ball of inertia, now that I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, like, I forgot all about that lady at the orthodontist. I hope she's well. Her name is Liz. She's very sweet. What would happen if you woke up and you chose to believe in yourself? Wild. I was talking to a friend recently, and they said, you know, how do you know if something feels right? When I'm nervous or I have anxiety, I feel it more in my chest. And then when it's something that I have a gut feeling about, I feel it in my gut, literally, in a heaviness. And so sometimes if I'm torn between two decisions, I'll sit down and I'll think about the decisions, and I will take, like, as long as I need to, but I will sit and I will think about the decision. I won't say, oh, do I want Burger King and see how it feels? Do I want Taco Bell, see how it feels? No, I picture me fully immersed in, if I go with choice A, if I go to Burger King for dinner, I picture myself eating that Whopper and the fries and the Diet Coke, because health. This is a silly example. Okay, if you wanted to invest in a property, number one, don't do anything over your head. I'm not telling you to go put yourself into $1,000 in debt. If you have the means to do so, this is what my friend was going through. They didn't know whether to make an offer on this property or not, and I was like, just feel it. Feel it out. Picture yourself buying that property. Picture yourself in it, like feel it, really feel it. You know, what does it feel like in the living room at night when you're watching TV with your dog? When you have a housewarming party, what do people say? Really feel it and see where you feel it in your body. You can do this with any choice. I do it with most things just because I'm trying to become more in tune with that little voice. We all have it, or that little gut feeling that we all have that's like a little invisible string that pulls us to what we need to go to, the things that we're meant to find, the things that we're meant to do, the connections we're meant to make. It's there. It's just we've been told that, like, okay, no, you gotta go to school, go to school, go to school, go to college, get this job, work, die. You're a boy, you can't do ballet. You're a girl, you can't do dirt bikes. You're a something and you can't do the other thing that you're not supposed to be doing. You know what? If you're drawn to it, then you're drawn to it for a reason. Now, don't think that being drawn to something makes you automatically good at it, i.e., cake decorating for me. Also, sometimes if I'm just frustrated, I'll just scream. I'll just yell. Not like a blood curdling scream, like I'm not trying to like alert the neighbors, but like sometimes I'll just be like, ah! Sometimes it just feels good. Also, sometimes just go try something new. You never know, man. You never know. Something small might really just light your fire. Just might get your little soul just moving. Sometimes, this is very funny, and I do it quite often. I can't believe I'm telling y'all this. Sometimes I love to go, I'll just drive around. Like, I'll just drive around Knoxville. Just windows down, music blaring, like just being my own person in my own space, you know. I just be living my best life. Sometimes I will put my head Sometimes I will stick my head semi out the window and pretend that I'm a dog. Cause look at how happy dogs are when they do it. Like, also sometimes just doing things that you're not supposed to do makes me feel more creative. I'm not saying go kick a baby. What I mean by that is like my parkour videos on Instagram started because I was going for a walk and I honestly just felt stagnant. I felt stuck. I felt like I was in a rut. I didn't like the music I was playing. I was like, how funny would a really bad parkour video be? Okay, then do it. Like that random thought, do it. I mean, not all of your intrusive thoughts. Not all of them. No, 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 no. But like a little creative thought like that. So I did it. And y'all thought it was hilarious. I had a great time doing it. I look like Business Ashley, but this is 100% just regular Ashley coming out today. I'm not very serious at all. Listen, eat ice cream for breakfast. Nobody's gonna stop you. Eat ice cream before you eat dinner. Nobody's gonna stop you. Go to Walmart at 7 a.m. and buy a whole ass German chocolate cake. You can do that. You can do that. Nobody's gonna stop you. Because it's your life. There's no rules. Like, don't hurt people. And pay your taxes. And even then, the first one, you need consent first. And the second one, people do it all the time. Like, get away with not doing it. So, are there really any rules? I'm not trying to have an existential crisis on here with you. But I'm just saying. Oh, something else I do. Sometimes just being around other creative types. Like, maybe you're not outgoing. And that's great, that's fine and dandy, that is a-okay. Maybe you don't want to make really bad parkour videos in a public space, but something that really gets me going as an extrovert, I love going to the karaoke bar. And sometimes I go and I don't even sing. I like to just be around other people that are having a good time. And sometimes when I'm editing, you know, I live in this house, I work from this house, I can go days without leaving this house. When I get that way, you know, it's important to remember that even editing is a creative process. And sometimes I'll be here and I'll be editing on like day 3 and I'm like going crazy. And sometimes just going to a coffee shop, being around other people. So even if you're introverted, you know, this is up to you. I'm just saying sometimes if you don't want to be super crazy like parkour videos or, you know, sing at a karaoke bar, sometimes just going in the space where other people are is helpful because, you know, you're feeding off of everybody else's energy in the room, even though you may not be talking to them. Just sometimes being around other people is really helpful. Yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be. There was no skit today. There was no plan. All I know is I wasn't going to film because I was crabby. Honestly, I was downright bitchy if I'm honest with you. But I was like, you know what? Actually, this is being honest about how you are currently feeling and how you work through it is exactly what needs to be said, because I hate tuning into videos that are like my daily 5 a.m. routine, and like I get up and I have a fresh squeezed celery juice every morning, and then I go into the sauna, and that's where I do my personal journaling. Listen, if that's you, I'm very proud of you for that. It ain't me, and it ain't the majority of the population. If you are in a creative rut, I hope you get out of the house, go for a power walk. I will link Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is not a new book. I just don't read ever, so I've had this book for about 7 years, and for a book to be 7 years old and to not have even a crease in the spine, I don't read a lot. Go for a walk. Hell, you know what? If you got a private balcony, sunshine your asshole. Let me know down below if it helps, because I'll try anything at least once. Sometimes twice. Okay, you know what? See, I feel so much better having sat down and talked with you. Look, and now I'm like ready. I mean, it's 4:30, so what am I gonna do? Nothing. Gonna edit. But the point is, I did it, and I feel better for doing it. And I hope that seeing me be real about not always being creative or bubbly and how I work through it, I hope you give it a chance. I hope you find what helps you get back your creative spark. Be brave. Try something new. It's gonna suck, and it's gonna suck many times. Every expert starts out as a beginner. Every six-pack starts out as a tummy of rolls sometimes. You get the point. You get the analogy. Take that first step today. Get outside, power walk, listen to some music, links to the book, links to my Spotify playlist if you want to check out my music. If you don't, that's okay, I don't care. Links to my social media down below if you want to be my friend outside of the YouTubeverse. And I hope you find your creative spark today, friends, because I guarantee you there's something special within you that I can't wait to see you bring forth. Links to all that jazz down in the description box. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Create, go, do, be. You're worthy to be here, and I will see you next time. Bye.